Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix the Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Okay, so let's see what we currently have approved. Nothing. Dummy strings for modded files. Okay, what is this? Perhaps it's best to keep the issue open because it touches on a larger issue. 3 strings with hard-coded name key IDs. This change fixes the following issue. I've added the second commit with debugger searching for the correct name key ID with unmodded files to help us detect undesirable additions or removals. Check hash and name key ID values for Jones replicated generals. Okay. If retake compatible CSC, sync name key ID, verify name key ID. What? If Xfer use new line. Originally, the game would hash 3 files. For the file exists cache of the file system in 0 hour. SignStar rely on having the exact same name key IDs across all clients. I suggest to preserve the original strings for context. This means you can remove, you can merge, entirely. So this was originally. Four times. RTS 0 hour and if. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, I don't understand the purpose of this. Debug is searching for the correct name key ID with unread files to help us detect undesirable additions. Okay. I see. Mm-hmm. 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 Multiple times. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Instead of adding the sync name key ID function, how about just calling name to key 3 times here. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Okay, what else do we have? Was this updated? Nope. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm. vector length to I intentionally put the bool because it also signals that this function can fail to set position. It communicates to the programmer that this function can fail to set the position. Mm-hmm. I think it is fine to have them independent. It is fine to have them independent of each other. Mm-hmm. The code will never change. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about this, but I was thinking about this previously too, but decided against it because well, if it inlines. User has control. Um, okay, is there something else we can do to simplify this code? Let me see. View CPP. Yeah, so there's a lot of code duplication, right? So how could we simplify this? It's user control locked. Okay. Close, I have a macro. But macro is pretty not nice. Yeah. There must be some way. Some way to simplify this. Has user control. Has user control. Has user control. Hmm. Mhm. Hmm. Mhm. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so I'm not a fan of this suggestion here. I don't like this, this here, because it mixes responsibility. So this function is not just querying a status, but is also doing something, right? And then on top of that, you have now two conditions. So you test this first, and then you test this again here, which with optimization, this probably becomes sufficient anyway. But yeah, I don't like these are two distinct steps. Like this test is one step, and then these actions, there's separate steps. And so this one, it merges them, and it's weird. I don't like it. Um, if we can think of something else, some other way to express this, I can't think of anything. Well, we could have a template function. Aha, aha, aha. Then we need an argument. Yeah. Well, we only ever pass one at a time. Yeah. So what we could do is private templates function type name function bool. Function. Call user action. User. Do user action. Do user action. Turn. Function. Type name. Arc void. Nope. Type name arc1. 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 Or we put them down here. Here. Okay. Okay. And then here we would now call return, do user action, set position. Oh, actually, is that even possible? Arc1. I'm actually not sure. Plus, I'm actually not sure if that would even compile because we're passing a Like this is a non-static function. Is that even legal? Let's see. I expect it fails to compile. Yeah. Mm-hmm. To user action. User action. Yeah. To user action. User. Mm-hmm. Oh, actually it does compile. Okay, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. No, it fails. Error. Aha. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, how do I pass it a... Let me ask ChatGPT how to pass a class member function to a template member template function to a class. Pass a class member function to a class member template function. Those are not static. Is that possible? You have pass a pointer to member function, not a normal function pointer. Type name T. What? My class func. What? This func. My class func. Okay. Okay, so here he wants me to do that, yeah. Let's see. Let's go step by step. I haven't done this in a while. Okay, so that doesn't work. Then let's try that. Okay, then let's try this function. Do we need to dereference it? Huh. It's calling this call view star. So does that work or not? Nope. Function is not a member view. Aha. Okay, then we do a dereference here. Let's see if that does anything. Okay, that has succeeded. And so we really need to parse view this. Then I do wonder, will it actually like go into the parent class to the overridden function, or will it just literally call view set position? What if what if the print function is a virtual function? Will it call the override function? Yes, it will still call the override. Okay. Derived print, so it would call derived. Okay. Interesting. Okay, we can test that. C++ works in mysterious ways. Because the thing is, if you just call view set position, then you definitely call this here. Yeah. I mean the view set position, not this one. If you write this here in a function, then it would call this specific one. Whereas if you write it like this, then it calls the derived one. Right? So it's really confusing. Unless, of course, I'm mistaken as well. Let's just test what happens. Load. So do user action. And now it calls in here. Okay. Yeah. Stop doing scripted camera. Okay, great. Cool. And then it will call set position, which is in here. Okay. Okay, so far it works great. Let's do set angle. Let's do that one as well. Okay. Okay, there we go. Step in there, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and it calls, aha. Oh. Okay, so this will Stack Overflow now. Called the wrong function. Let's try this again. Yeah. Okay, there we go. And it calls, yeah, the topmost function. Okay, great. And then this one calls that, yeah. And then this, and this. Okay, great. Okay, that works. That's cool. Okay, that's cool. Then I would say we take this guy. I think we can just put it then into the header straight away. Just put it in here, right? Maybe. So we could put this in here, and then all of these we can do user action, view, set position. Then here we have radians, heights, z, angle, O, delta, location, ID, trouble. And then here we do set, yep. Zoom, set pitch, set angle to default, set angle, Okay, I think that's it. And then we could improve the formatting a bit, align them more here. Okay, I think that looks pretty decent. Yeah. User set zoom, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. And we can do it a bit wider here. Maybe here we also put height, user zoom, height. Maybe call it Let's leave it at Z for now. Yeah. Okay. Camera lock drop ID. I wonder if we should write an explicit argument count here. Maybe not. Arc 1. Yeah. So like we don't have a strict compiler guarantee that these calls are correct, right? So it would be possible to forget like an argument and then that would be malformed. Yeah. That's not great. Yeah. Let me ask. If I write the template function like so, is there a way to guarantee that the function does indeed take one argument? Take one argument. Well, I think that would be compile error, right? If we, let's say we omit this here, I think there will be a compile error. Let's double check that. If there is, then it's all good. Yeah, look. No. Hold on. Let me comment out these guys. Yeah. And then this one as well. Yeah. Here, what do we have? Term does not evaluate to a function taking 0 arguments. Okay, that's already a guarantee. Which one? Function. Let's put that back. Right. Hold on. this function. There we go. Okay. Um, instead of writing functions like so, can we have a functor object that that we can pass instead? Yes, in fact, a functor is a cleaner design. Show me. Yeah, not lambda. I need a functor. Zoom functor. Can we create a functor template class that works with VC6? Series limitations does not support. Yeah, show me. Function. Yeah, this. Show me. Member function 0. Oof. Function 0. Invoke. Virtual invoke. Why is there virtual? What? One argument version. Member function. Oof. That looks very complicated. Objects. Why is this a virtual? What is this? Why is this a public IAction? What is this? Invoke. Base functor. Member function 0 view action int action. Well, it will add more code, and then we need all this bullshit here. Yeah. I'm not a fan of this. Let me see. Fixed camera 7. So it only ever has 0 arguments or 1 argument. Then I think our solution is alright. Yeah. Maybe it's action. It's not great because as soon as we need like another function that needs 2 arguments, and we need to add another of these, right? So that's not great. But that seems to be not the case. Yeah. user action. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 A1 F. Mm. Yeah. Function F. A1. Mm. I think I prefer with the longer names. Mm. Mm. Maybe we just put it in here like that. Leave it in there. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we remove all of this here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see if that works. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so rotate, yeah. Zoom, yeah. Pitch, yeah. FOV, yeah. Scroll. Okay. Seems like it works. You can even observe a house. Interesting way to play the game. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that works. Okay. Simplify or reduce amount of code for user camera functions. Then I would say amount of codes for user camera functions was reduced with templates. Was reduced by using templates. Good. What else can we do? Then let's see what else we can review here. I personally would not encourage. Personally, would not encourage anyone to pick up any work because it can cause more work for us. Depending on their So the problem I see here is once he starts making a pull request and he's noob, yeah, let's say he's noob, then there's a huge chance that he will that the work will be full of errors, and then it will take iteration over iteration over iteration to clean this up, and this will be more work for us than if we would have done it ourselves. That's my expectation for this, because the way he asked this, he's asking, "Hey friends." No one competent starts with "Hey friends." That's number one. I'm looking for a simple task. That's number two, to get a feel for the project. Number three strikes already. Is this something you would want someone to pick up? 4 strikes, because he's asking if someone wants someone else to work on this. So it's like 4 points in here in these 2 sentences, where I would say this indicates that he's noob. Yeah, I could be wrong. Maybe he's expert, but it looks like a noob comment. Yeah, so I wouldn't encourage this person to pick up any work. That's just my hunch on this, because as I said, I think he will create a change that is full of errors, and it will take very long time and a lot of effort from us to guide it to become correct, right? So like error number 1 is he's missing a lot of places. Yeah. Number 2, he will touch things that are not meant to be touched. Number 3, he will change it in ways that is just incorrect and would pose a change in logic or risk of problems or something, So like there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong if you don't understand like what you're actually touching, right? So for example, with the clamp here, this clamp, the order of the arguments is different from std clamp, yeah, which I wrote here. Careful with clamp, the argument order is different. So if he does it by hand, it's very likely that he will mix up it somewhere. So he would need to write a script, but to make it really correct, have a script. But he doesn't strike me as a person who would go the correct route and write a script to do it, but he would do it by hand, like a junior would. Yeah. So my expectation is that it will be a total mess. And that's why I didn't respond to this and I didn't encourage him, but Cabal encourages him. So if this guy creates a review, Cabal gets to review this. Because he's encouraging him. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Typically, if someone is competent and he sees he can help, he would just pick up the work and do it himself and just work on it. He won't ask questions. He would just see the work and he would just do it. He wouldn't even need this task. Yeah, he would just look at the code and he would just do it because he sees it and he thinks it's right? So, yeah, I think this is going nowhere here. Yeah, maybe I'm just ultra pessimistic, but it's just I've seen people come and go, and typically people are incompetent. Yeah, that's just the way it is. It's the internet. Yeah, of course, everyone is incompetent. Yeah, it's very rare to find competent people. Yeah, most people, it's just true. Most people are incompetent with any particular task. It's true. Yeah. So, and those that are competent, they will just do it. Yeah. But this one says do later. Why did I put do later here? I don't know. I mean, it could be done, but it would have to be done in steps. Like, do one of these, then the next one, then the next one, and the next. Like, don't do all of them at once. Yeah. Well, every case of clamping uses the return. Mm-hmm. That is separate issue. Okay, so what do we want to look at next? Preserve the original strings for context. I can use the strings that were added in. Yes, just add these strings here. Those strings depend either on register language or your soundtrack names. It can be changed by mods though. Depend either on register language. Why do I add it? Is mainly about preserving the context, what these strings are for the next person to look at it. Preserving the context for what these strings are for the next person to look at it. Okay. Workers can build over small cliffs when boxed in. Oof. Of course they can. I tested this retail. When a worker is boxed in, it can build over small cliffs when it clearly should not be able to do so. Well, that sucks. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Application current fails to handle corruption or syntax error within the map cache ini file. Instead of discarding the corrupted cache and regenerating it, the engine triggers a release crash. This occurs when the parser encounters a malformed entry in the ini file. Rather than bypassing the invalid line or resetting the file, the application terminates, preventing the game from reaching the main menu until the user manually deletes a file. The application should implement a robust fail-safe mechanism. If a parsing error is detected in map cache ini during startup, the application should catch the exception rather than terminating. The application should automatically delete or rename and attempt to generate a fresh cache. If the regeneration process fails or a crash occurs a second time immediately after the file is wiped, only then should the release crash be triggered. Open map cache ini and manually corrupt the line. Well, why would you do that? Okay. If not, is quit menu visible? Toggle quit menu. Is quit menu visible? Toggle quit menu. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. So you would need to click the X twice then. So user would need to click the X twice then. Not sure. Well, I think it's very risky to allow the player to close the application fast inside a match. If it's possible to do this by accident, right? Like with the way it's currently, like you can't accidentally leave your match or quit your game, right? Like you would have to go actively into Task Manager and kill the game, or press escape and exit game, right? So very deliberately. But if you have this X there and you press it by mistake, then the game shuts down. If you have this and it first opens the quit menu, then you would need to press it twice. Maybe. Yeah. Quit game client. Perhaps to try. Start new game. Okay, what's the current time? 1 hour 30. So, Scripta is still happy? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this 3D sounds issue, let me look at that now. Causes 3D sounds to be a bit quiet, behave differently from retail, not super noticeable, but people who play the game noticed. It's reproducible if you place a ranger or patriot or something attacking on loop. Put the camera so the unit building is near the edge of the frame. Notice how quiet it is. If you slowly move the camera so the unit is in the center, it scales. If you slowly move the camera so the unit's in the center, it scales non-linearly. Okay. Let's mute the music. Let's enable the audio. Let's exit the game. Let's raise the volume. And then...
Have a job for me? Good area. Any more
Stuff.
projects? Loud and clear. Made All in the US of A.
So what is the issue again? To be a bit quiet, behave differently from retail. So it sounds fine, right? It sounds okay, but let's compare it side by side with the original. So we open generals, English, and here we have the original game there. Yeah.
EA Games. Challenge everything.
You can hear, right? Yeah. So let's hear, yeah, if we can hear the difference. The issue was reported by me, but someone sent it to me. I just copy pasted it. So I didn't see that before. I just made the report. Yeah. Just for context, yeah, because maybe you're wondering why you're testing it. You made a bug report. You should know, right?
EA Games.
But it's not that. Yeah.
Terrorist base.
Okay. So, well, first we need to enable the audio, like that. So, then let's pick IP in assault, yeah. Take USA, okay.
Yeah. Bring on the scaffolding. All sounds good. Good area. That one's done. Want to make some improvements? Going up. Any more projects? I'll build anywhere.
So,
Bring on the scaffolding.
then let's set the render FPS to 90 and logic to 30. Shoot. Here we do FPS to 30. So this is original game and this is our custom game. It's pretty loud here. This seems to be quiet. Okay, it's certainly quieter. Okay, so apparently it was caused by this change here. Yeah, let's take a look at it. So, let's see, what did we do here? So, play audio event, music, current volume, get volume. Yeah. So there was no modification here. This one could be a difference. Here we have volume shift. Yeah. So get effective volume. What does it do? It does volume times get volume shift. Yeah, music volume, speech, sound volume. Okay, okay. So what? Volume. Get event volume. Ah. Okay, but this is only for music and speech. Yeah. Get volume times. Get volume. Play audio event. So assuming that. So here. It doesn't go. I suspect the error is here with this. Yeah, let me look at the other ones. Desired work could also be here, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one is properly scaling it. Yeah. So assuming that this is a 3D is positional audio. Filter 3D. Huh. Could also be this one. Yeah. So let's put a let's put some breakpoints. Let's put a breakpoint here. Okay, it's not that. This one is also not scaling. Let's put a breakpoint here on this one. Yeah. Also not that. Okay. Interesting. Then I suspect it's this one here. Okay, it's not that. Okay, I'm confused. What is it then? What is it? Let's put breakpoints everywhere. Yeah. So here and here. Oh, sorry. Here, there. Okay, we have put breakpoints everywhere now. I mean, it must hit one of these, right? Oh. Okay, I realize I'm stupid. I didn't actually, I'm not attached to the process. Right. All right. Well, now it makes sense. Okay, there we go. Init filters 3D. Events. Winter nature wind loop. Okay. It's not that. Wow, that is called every frame. Holy shit. Who's doing that? Process playing list. What the hell? What the hell is that? Oh. Volume has changed. True. What? What? Okay, don't know what that bullshit is. Okay, but there's a lot of calls to these guys here. Oh boy. Well, that sucks. Okay, but music, we don't care. Okay. Okay, unfortunately, we get a lot of sound spam here, so it's hard to debug. Well, okay. Okay, I don't know how we effectively debug this. We could put a breakpoint for just a specific file name, I guess. Ugh. Desired volume. Desired volume. Volume shift. Oh, man. Oh. Okay, so it's still not clear to me exactly what has changed here, but I can see how this stuff is different. So, for example, here, if we go to get effective volume, so here it does more. Like if it has a current position, then it also takes this stuff into account here. No. So before I did not do that. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So for this one, it doesn't matter, right? This one is the same. So this one is probably the same. These are probably fine as well. Yeah. But this is not. So this is different. Yeah. I think so. And here, this one also looks suspicious. Yeah. So here it looks like it's only speech and music, right? So that's probably fine. Oh. Yeah, music and streaming. Okay, so this is not related to 3D sounds. Okay, we don't care about this one. Okay, so I think the issue is here. Here and here. No. Not here. Here and here. Yeah. These two. Huh. Which means it was always broken. Fire. Okay. Okay, then how about here we take this guy. We say here if one, else, and if, yeah. Okay, so we have that, and then for the other one, let's sample this one. Yeah. Well, we just take the same here. This. Hmm. Volume 0.5. What? Why is this complaining? Ah. Sample volume. Mm-hmm. Hmm. 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 So let's say F1, then this, else, and if. Let's do a real volume equals this. Mhm. Okay. Then here we say one, real volume, get effective volume, blah, okay. There we go. Okay. Is that fair? Good. So now I expect that the audio will behave as before. Let's test that. If that is the case, then we need to figure out what's going on here. Yeah. Then I wonder, oh, that has failed because we still have the game open. Mm-hmm. So is there any other place where we actually where we call where we have a 3D sound audio debug display? Okay, we don't care. Okay, this is just all debug. Okay, never mind about these. Huh? Mm-hmm. 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 Just volume of playing audio. Ah. Just playing audio. Okay, so here it also used that, but that was already as per the original. Just volume of playing audio. I never touched that. Yeah. So that already used this for the 3D sound. So that was certainly the intent. But it was not consistently used. What do we have here? That's also for 3D sounds. Yeah. Volume for consideration. Process fading list. Okay, let's ignore that. Okay, but this one is also in 3D sounds. Or is it not? Yeah, it is 3D sounds here. Process playing list. Yeah. For consideration. Yeah. Okay, so I see there's an inconsistent usage of this get effective volume function. So there is something is not right. Yeah. Something is not right. Okay, let's first test it. It's now normal again. And I wonder if we should... Yeah, let's test first, yeah, before we have further thoughts on this. But I already have a general idea what we need to do.
EA Games. Challenge everything.
So,
What's the story? Good area. All loud and clear. On the job. Any more projects?
it's much louder now. So my observation is that basically the distance check is broken, right? Like it doesn't fade out really. It does pan. It does pan from left to right. So like when I move to the side, then you hear the sound is quieter on one ear, but not on the other. So it does get quieter in the sense that you only hear it on one of your ears, yeah. But there's like a hard cut-off place where it just cuts off, right? So essentially, it was always broken. That's what I can tell. Yeah. Okay, that's sad. Yeah. Oh. Now that's fantastic. So what I think we need to do is this stuff here needs to be conditional. Yeah. Yeah. So we give it like an ini setting for some audio file. Let me see. Visual Studio Code. Audio settings ini. Audio settings. Huh, why does this not exist in 0 hour? It does here. There we go. Audio settings, audio root. Yeah. Yeah, and then we add a new setting here. Yeah. Yeah. So basically this never worked correctly. The min range, max range thingy. God damn. Wow. That sucks. I think the way to address it is max distance, min distance. So here it is linearly scaling the volume, right? So I suspect what can be done more gracefully is that you don't linearly scale, but that you have like a exponential curve that just slowly gets more quiet, and then only at the very edge it drops to 0. Yeah. So that you still have like a smooth transition, because right now what you can hear is you go to the edge. You can hear that it doesn't reach 0 ever, right? Like there's a hard cutoff. Yeah. So this code is never reached here. Let me put a breakpoint here. Yeah. Oh, it is reached. From which core stack? From process playing list. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Now what does it do here? Volume for consideration. 0.2. What does that do? 0.25. Huh. Play anyways, false. Play anyways. Min volume. Okay. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do think that we need to put a check here. Let me add a to-do item here to do at audio settings.ini check here. Audio settings setting check. Yeah. Okay, cool. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So let me listen to it again. It's when it's fixed. Yeah. So let's put here if 0. Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
EA Games. Challenge everything.
Okay.
Clocked in. Going up. That one's done. On the job. All finished.
So now it has a very graceful edge. But it's much quieter. Yeah, then what we need here is this new indie setting. And then I think we need to have a compromise. We need to have this linear mode as it was originally intended, but was bugged, of course. Of course it was bugged. And then we need a exponential scale. Yeah. Exponential fade. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Good. Then that's interesting. Yeah. All right. I think I will end it here. Has been 2 hours 12. Yeah. Let's see if there's one more quick action item here. Yeah. Let's take a look at that. Yes, unless I already had the menu open, not sure if it's still somewhat undesirable. I think it's easier to implement that than check for a repeated WM clause. Repeated WM clause. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They already menu open. Mm-hmm. 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 Could be a solution. I won't make a comment on this. Let them, if he wants to implement it, then I will test it. Yeah, it sounds like it could be okay. Yeah, I would need to test it a bit in the game to see how it behaves, but it could be okay. Yeah. Good. I think I will end it here. I hope you enjoyed. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.